Okay, folks, listen, you saw it. You know what we're doing. Listen, we're doing a casserole. We're going to do it in one pan. You guys are familiar with the one pot, right? But I'm going to show you how to make this. We're just going to call this a meat and cornbread casserole that's going to be way over the top and super flavorful. You know, with all that talking I'm doing right now, let's get it. All right, so listen, the first thing I'm getting ready to do is, listen, you want to, when I tell you this come together so fast, it's super simple, right? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and preheat the oven, right? So I'm going to hit bake. We're going to do it at 350 and we're going to hit start. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start putting some flame underneath the bottom of here. I'm going to start off with about a medium flame. That'll be good to get some heat under here and let it disperse, right? I'm gonna use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. You know, this is garlic infused, by the way. And we're gonna use we're gonna use 2 pounds of our ground beef inside of here. And what's key is, if you guys look, that's actually 3 pounds. But if you look right here, you see where it say 93.7. That's what that it is, right? I don't want to get all of that grease in there, so I thought I'd take some of that out by just getting a more leaner beef. Now, looking at these these ingredients right here, don't forget the full ingredient list will be on my website. That's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com. Now, we're going to address this right here. I'm going to put a link in the description, and it'll be on my website also, how to make my cornbread. This is the same cornbread that I use, that I put the honey, you know, the honey glaze on the top. You don't have to put the honey glaze on. Just get your dry ingredients, put it here, and this is what you're going to need. You're not going to need no egg, no nothing else. Just follow these instructions, and I promise you'll be making this probably twice a week. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and add myself a little bit of my oil. You guys can use cooking oil. I just like to use the garlic infused olive oils. You know what I mean? By Branch and Vine, they nice. Just gives me a little bit of a level up, right? Now, I just explained to you guys that this is actually 3 pounds, right? So I'm just gonna take out about a third, and we call that good. If I just do it like this, right? And this is what that bag was for. I already hit it with the Sharpie. This is the way when we freeze it, right? We know exactly what it is. All right, I can see it's nice and hot. I done reached my smoke point. Now let's go ahead and drop this in. And I'm gonna leave it like that just so we can start getting a little crust on it. Okay, so now you wanna get yourself one of these. You should have one of these by now, right? So what I do is now I just get in here and break it all up. Nothing like having fresh ground beef. Look, when it's fresh, it breaks up nice and easy. It's not all compacted, right? Look at that. Now what we want to do is just cook it down until we don't see any more pink. All right, so we got our ground beef, it's working, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, shred down my cheese. I tell you guys, if you can buy yourself, you see how I buy it. I buy it in a block, and then I shred it the way I like it. I don't always use this side, because the bigger it is, the harder it is to melt. You know what I mean? So we'll just take it, just do like this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna need about a couple and a half. Okay, so listen, my oven is up to temp. Let me hit my light. It's ready to go. Now this is where it goes real fast, right? Now, if you pay attention, you come down here and look at my ingredients, you see I shifted things around. Now, this is what I made, because that's gonna be my cornbread, and I got my cream corn over here like this. That's together. I went ahead and measured out, because I need about 2 cups of salsa, right? So I went with the chunky. Obviously, I'm using paste. If you look right here, boom, there it is. So I put all of these ingredients, minus this, because we're done with that, right? This, 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 and this. And if you guys can't see, this also. This all stays in here. You know, this is what's ready to go in here. I do it this way, man. This way you don't have no issues. You're not looking for nothing. I pull my ingredients out in the beginning. Then once I got them pulled out, you know, then I go ahead and break them down and measure them how I need them. You can leave them out just in case you want to add more to it or whatever, but this gets you in the ball game, right? So here we go. Now, if you guys use anything other than what I use, this is 93.7, right? So if you use something else, if you got any grease down the bottom, look at the bottom down here. Oh man, that's just perfect, real nice and light. So we're not gonna add nothing to it, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding all of my ingredients to it that go in here. Now, I'm gonna add these two. This is my corn. It's gonna take this whole can. Now, I'm gonna go ahead, look, let's see. If you look right there, I don't know if you can see that, but when I shake it like that, it's full of the liquid, right? So I'm gonna bring it over here. And I'm just gonna go ahead, keep my top halfway. This is for all my beginner people, you know what I mean? Sometimes when they read this or you getting somebody write something down or give you a recipe from your grandmama and it say drained and all that, you don't need no colander or nothing. You know what I mean? This is all you need to do. You know what I mean? When it slow down, that's enough. Anything left in here, we gonna call that flavor, right? So now I'm gonna take it and just add it. Look at the color. Now earlier I said I was gonna be, might do this all in one pan. You know what I mean? Which makes it a little tricky because you know we gotta put that topping on it. That's where that cornbread come in at. But you guys just see where we going. I'm gonna keep on continuing to, you know, mix this together. You know, and then here you can, you know, if you wanna go ahead and put something else in here, you can. You know what I mean? Another type of seasoning, you make it your own, right? I'm giving you some ingredients that I know that work. You know what I mean? And then, you know, if you look at my website, I make my own taco seasoning too. But this right here, by McCormick's is good too. So we just add this. That's how we gonna start leveling that flavor up. Right? I've already drained my beans. Now, if I had, this is a 12-inch cast iron. If I was using my 17, I would tell you that this would all fit. But it get a little tricky though, you know? So look at this right here. Ooh-wee. Talking about cowboy up. Look at that. All right. Now that I got it mixed up pretty good. You know, I can see the seasoning on the ground beef, so I know it's there. Now I'm getting ready to come with my couple of cups of, this is 2 cups of salsa. But now y'all starting to see it come together. Still gonna be nice and thick, but you know how we gonna thin that out just a little bit so that it'll be able to cook a little bit. So we can cook that cornbread and cook it the rest of the way. Get everything to marry, and that's gonna be done in the oven. And we're gonna be using, voila. That's right, chicken broth, chicken stock. Okay, so right before I go ahead and put it in this other dish, because again, this is just a little small. If you guys got a 17-inch, it'll be perfect. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead. I just don't want nothing to like spill over the top. We want it to look good too, you know, so I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this until my heart is content. This is my black pepper, right? Nothing like fresh, black, cracked, right? And then when it comes to the salt, I'm using kosher salt. This is the coarse grind. I just use a pinch and a little bit of we call it a pinch and a half or 2, just 1 good generous pinch, right? That's just to wake up the flavor that we have here to make it a little bit more on the intense side, right? So there we have it. Now I'm gonna be transferring this into a casserole dish. It's a 13 by 9, right? So what I want to do is anytime I use one of these, I always go and get me a little non-stick spray. So let's take this, spray the bottom and the side. You know why? Because I don't want nothing sticking and I don't want to be scrubbing. Now once you got everything, you know, all mixed, incorporated together, look, next thing we do is we just take it and we just add it here, right? We sprayed it already, right? Look at that right there. Now, I want you guys to tell me, what would you do? What would you add? I can think of so many things I can add to this, you know? All right, so now this part right here is self-explanatory. Casserole dish. You know, we just put this down like this. Now, you just want to level it out, right? Remember that cheese? This is where the cheese come in at. Look at this right here. Okay, so now we just make the cornbread, right? We just put this topping on here. Now, I just stirred it up. You see, I buy it, this is how I buy it, like, you know, in a larger size. So, right now, I'm gonna tell you, let me just go ahead. I already did this part, the dry ingredients, don't forget, it'll be linked inside of on the website. It's a standalone, and I'll link everything to the recipe on this one here, right? So now we're just gonna add a 1/4 cup. You want it to be moist. Now we just want to get it all out. So you're gonna need to get yourself like a spatula, you know? So, this here. When my voice get quiet, because I'm thinking right now, like, ooh wee. It's gonna be nice and moist on the top too. All right, so I'll put that over there. We'll put this up. Now we're gonna put a little cream corn in here. Put about half a can. All right, so we put in about a half a can. You know what I mean? That's enough right there. Right, get your whisk and then work this in. Now we gotta add a couple of tablespoons of milk to this, but I just wanna start working this in like this. It'll start getting a little bit on the tacky side, and I'm gonna show you in just 1 second. Look at this right here. See that? Now, what's gonna make it be able to pour a little bit is the fact that I'm gonna go ahead and set it up with just a little bit of milk. I've always been told all my life I'm a little bit heavy-handed, you know? So, just gotta finesse it, take my time with it. All right, now I'm gonna run this spatula around the edges. I wanna make sure we got it all mixed up properly. Run it down on the bottom. All right, so once you got your batter, look, I'm gonna show it to you. Look, that's a good consistency right there, right? So now we just have it, and I'm just gonna spoon it in like this. We'll run the spatula over the top of it. Hope I made enough. No, I did. It just looked like that, folks. All right, so now you just wanna spread it on as if we putting icing on a cake. It's okay if you pick up a little bit of that cheese or a little corn. Trust me, it's gonna be just fine. That's all you need. Now you just want to try to get it as even as possible. You know, your layer. Okay, so once you got it spread it, you know, on top, you got it nice like how you want it. Now we put it in the oven, which is already preheated at 350 degrees, right? So we're gonna set a timer. We're gonna set a timer for 35 minutes. And then we're gonna come back and take a look at it. Okay, so listen, my timer went off at 35 minutes, right? I checked it with a toothpick. It looked like it needed to go, and plus the top wasn't like a little bit on the brown side, right? So I put it back in for another 10 minutes. I checked it, everything was good. So now we're gonna go ahead and take it out. I'll just put it right there. And I don't know if you guys paid attention, but when I was putting it in there, I didn't bring it all the way to the edge. I like to just see that little bit right there. That right there is right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is, now that we have it out, you know what I mean? I'm just running this paper towel around the edges, right? So that I can just clean it up, you know what I mean? Get it ready to make a debut in the food magazine. That's all. So we'll just leave it like this. I'm gonna let it cool. Now, if you look right here, I'm gonna just show you this part right here. You see this right here? That's just a little bit of the grease, you know what I mean? So don't forget, we use 93.7, but don't forget we put some cheese in there. Don't forget, cheese got grease in it too. A lot of people don't be thinking about that. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna leave it like this. Let it cool for about 15 minutes, uncover it just the way you see it, and then we're gonna go ahead and take some pictures. Okay, so look, this is what we did. I let everything cool. First of all, I took all the pictures, right? That's what brought you here. Now that I'm here, you know what I mean? What I did was I let it cool a little bit, stepped out, came back, and now we finna, finish it up. Hence, that's why I got a different shirt on. You know what I mean? But if you look at this right here, come on in here, take a look at that. Put a little sour cream on that. Now, I want you guys to use your brains on this one here. Tell me, what would you do to level this up, and talk to me down in the comment section below. You know what I mean? I would love to know. I can tell you some things, but this time I'm not gonna say nothing. I can tell you right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this a 9. We can make this a perfect 10 though. So let me go ahead and just bring this over here like this. Let's cut that down. Ooh, ain't nothing like getting your cornbread and your meat filling and all of that all on one. You see that right there? Yes, sir. Cheers, y'all. This is perfect. The salsa really ties it all in. along with the cornbread. Just the whole thing. It's really the combination. That right there. This is nice. So listen, I love meals like this. They easy on the pocketbook. You know what I mean? We probably have these ingredients probably in our house already. You got most of the canned goods in your pantry or in your cupboard. But either way, super simple, cheap on it, you know, cheap on your pocket, you know. So listen, now if you're new to my channel, I want you guys to take this time to like this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and tell everybody out there. Listen, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. I keep looking down right there because I'm thinking like, do I want sweet tea or Kool-Aid? Guess what, folks? I'm out. Peace.